Hello, hello, hello. How are you doing? Hopefully, everybody's doing well today. If this is the first time you've been in one of my live streams, my name is Brill, and what I do simply is I create pedestal wives. All right. Yes, I'm just trying to get access to the chat so that I can be able to see your comments and have conversations with you and interact. I don't know what's going on with my phone. I can't see everything like I normally can, but that's okay. We're going to still move forward because this is an important conversation that we need to have. First of all, let me start out with my research, okay? Because you all know I love research. One of the things that I have come to understand when I was doing my research on boyfriend and girlfriend relationships, I realized the scientific community is just starting to research how those type of relationships turn out. But one of the things that really caught my attention that I thought was very interesting that I need to share with you all, I just can't wait to share with you all, is that boyfriend and girlfriend relationships are considered to be a rite of passage. I thought that was interesting. They really considered boyfriend and girlfriend relationships to actually happen between the ages of 13 to 18. They even labeled them as adolescent. If anyone knows what adolescent means, that's an indication that it's not a mature relationship, it's not an adult relationship. And they even talked about the fact that men and women use these relationships in order for companionship, intimacy, sexual activity, communication, basically learning how to interact with the opposite sex. That is what boyfriend and girlfriend relationships were meant to be. So, with that being said, girlfriends are placeholders. Even science are actually catching up with this idea, and the research is catching up with this to let us know that girlfriend and boyfriend relationships, they're not meant to be adult relationships. They're just meant for you to learn how to interact with the opposite sex. I thought that was very interesting, and I want to let you all know that before I go into talking about why girlfriends hold no power in relationships, and now they're the new placeholders. They are the placeholders in relationships. I'm trying to make sure that I can see you all. Okay, I can see you all. Hello, 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 ladies. How are you doing? Hopefully, all you pedestal wives are doing well today. But girlfriends really do not benefit from being a girlfriend. Women don't benefit from being in these relationships. Have you ever heard that saying, never place all of your eggs in one basket? What that means is they don't want you to place all of your hopes and dreams on one man for a relationship, all your hopes and dreams to be his wife, all your hopes and dreams to have children with him, all of your hopes and dreams to go down that path with him. Never put all of your eggs in one basket. When a woman commits and puts herself in that space of being a girlfriend, this means she's committed to that particular man. This means all her hopes and dreams are on that particular man. And see, men know this. One of the things that no one talks about when they have these discussions about girlfriend and boyfriend, they don't have any discussion about the power dynamic that comes with a woman putting herself in a girlfriend position. Do you realize that most men are aware that women will decide to be a girlfriend because they want to be a wife? Most women say yes to being a girlfriend because they know eventually, maybe, or perhaps this man may propose or want me as my wife. And there is the power dynamic. See, when that power dynamic shifts and is on his side and he holds all the cards and all of your hopes and dreams is centered on this man, he can make you prove. And this is what I see women doing. Women are in this position where they are proving themselves to him to be worthy of being his wife. So she doesn't mind signing her name or co-signing for that car, or co-signing for that house, or co-signing for that loan, or co-signing for that credit card, because she thinks she's doing things in order to prove to him that she is worthy to be his wife. See, this is the reason why girlfriends hold no power, and they are the original placeholders. And women need to really have an understanding of men, and then you understand that this is the reason why once you become the girlfriend, now you have all these responsibilities and he asking more of you because you've offered yourself up to prove to him that you may or may not get that ring. And let's go down further down this path. Energetically, when you decide to commit yourself to this man, you put all of your hopes and dream on him being the one and him proposing and him spending his entire life with you. Energetically, it can be soul crushing where each year goes by and you have not been proposed to. Each year goes by and he hasn't asked you to be his wife. You've heard that term, always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Energetically, that can be an issue. It can be soul crushing. It could harm your self-worth and your self-confidence because you're going to continue to wonder, why hasn't he proposed? There's been so many videos that I've put on my page on Instagram. If you don't follow me on Instagram, make sure you do so. There's so many videos where so many girlfriends are constantly wondering, when is he going to propose? When is he going to ask me to be his wife? This is the reason why energetically, this is not a good move because this can be soul crushing to your self-worth, your self-confidence. It can also put you in a space where you are proving, you're jumping through hoops to prove that you are a great wife material. You're great wife material. So you're doing things. And then honestly, when I was doing my research, y'all are really going to find this very interesting. When I was doing my research, there's a lot of research that proves that men benefit from relationships overall. So they benefit from you saying yes to being a girlfriend without the commitment and not the risk. They benefit from this because men, long as they're in a relationship, they're able to live longer. They are least likely to have heart disease or have a stroke. So they're getting all of the benefit and all of the energy from the relationship, but you aren't getting that. When the research is done, it actually says that women just get feels. That's all women get. Women get a dopamine rush. They get their emotional needs met, but they don't get any benefits from being a girlfriend. Women should know that girlfriends are the learning curve and wives are the risk. And I know that's a harsh lesson to learn, but when you continue to go down this path, you start to really learn and you open up your mind and start understanding men, you realize that you're not getting anything by being the girlfriend. I literally had a conversation in my DMs. Hi, lady, if you're watching my videos, hello, welcome. And she didn't realize that she should be doing this another way because women aren't being taught. Women aren't being taught because our elders weren't taught and they didn't learn anything from the generation beforehand. So they aren't going into relationships seeking or wanting to be a wife. They're going into relationships just seeking, not even seeking anything, really just to see what happens. That is what women are going in now. Also, when it comes down to it, when it comes down to the roles, this is another thing, and I think you've heard this conversation before. When it comes down to the roles that a girlfriend has and the role that a wife has, when y'all are in these relationships, they're intersecting, they're intertwining. They are y'all are crossing boundaries. A lot of young girls, do not have an understanding that as a girlfriend, you're not supposed to be doing specific things. So as a girlfriend, a lot of women are washing his clothes, cleaning his house, cooking for him, making his appointments, reminding him of his appointments. They're doing all these things and he's getting the benefits of both worlds without the risk. Remember, being a girlfriend is a learning curve. Being a wife is a risk. I would prefer a man to risk it all. Risk his emotional well-being, his financial well-being, his overall well-being, to say he wants me and his wife versus him wanting me and his girlfriend. Because see, girlfriends hold no power. Even if you were to have an entire family with a man and you're just his girlfriend, do you know that the family supersedes you if something happens to him? And I know some of you like to say, well, if he has a power of attorney or some type of paperwork, even paperwork can be challenged when there's a blood relative that doesn't agree. If that blood relative doesn't agree that you deserve any of that insurance money, or you don't deserve the properties, or you don't deserve something that he left to you in a will, it can still be challenged because he did not see you as a person that he wanted to, the courts look at it like this. They look at it like, if he really wanted you to have all these things, he would have took the extra step to make sure and secure your position in his life by making you his wife. So they will actually side with the blood relative over a girlfriend. So you have to be aware of that. Believe me, trust and believe that just because you have power of attorney or you have some type of paperwork or you're in the will, that still may not be enough protection when it comes to the laws of the land. So you have to realize America is truly built on the legalities of husband and wife. They are truly built on that Christian the Christian way, the covenant that you're supposed to have. And that's really what marriage is all supposed to be all about. And since America is built on that foundation, the courts are built on that foundation. And since the courts are built on that foundation, you can be challenged even if you have something in writing as a girlfriend saying that it belongs to you or he wanted you to have it. Trust and believe. I've literally reviewed or seen cases where the girlfriend did not receive anything just because of the ex-wife. Girlfriends have no power in relationships. Even if a woman is an ex-wife outdoes a girlfriend because of the fact that that man was willing to take a risk and give her his last name, and she ultimately has more power than a girlfriend can ever have. And remember, as you're going along and you're being in these relationships, you decide to be a girlfriend. At once before, Christina thought she had power in a relationship before she became an ex-girlfriend. Stephanie thought she had power in a relationship before she became an ex-girlfriend. Tiffany became an ex. She thought she had power in a relationship before she became an ex-girlfriend. Girlfriends have no power in relationships. Even an ex-wife supersedes a girlfriend. This is also the law of the land, the foundation. You have to realize that in the world that we live in America, it's built on legalities, it's built on Christianity, it's built on covenants with God, and that's what they consider marriage to be. And if that man did not consider you as his wife, or did not consider you as the person who should be in charge of his property and all his assets and make sure and secure you in that manner, the courts will overturn and have done so in the past. They have overturned where girlfriends were left things in the will, or girlfriends were left for insurance policy, or girlfriends were had a power of attorney. An ex-wife can supersede you because she has more power than you. The courts look at it as though at one point he was willing to risk it all for her. He was willing to risk his financial future. He was willing to risk his emotional well-being. He was willing to risk his he was willing to risk himself, period. And you have to realize the reason why it's so significant that he's willing to risk it all is because men do not recover as fast as women from heartbreak. I know you've been told differently. I know you've been told that men just go from one woman to the next woman, and they could just be willy-nilly with their hearts. But research doesn't say that. Men actually do shut down, and it takes them a longer to heal than a woman does when their heart is broken. So if a man is willing to risk it all by making you his wife and giving you his last name, that means something in this world, in America. It means something. Girlfriends have no power. Girlfriends are literally the learning curve that a man has to learn how to interact, communicate, and have sex with a woman. Wives are the risk. Wives are the risk where he's willing to risk it all in order to have that woman. And this is the reason why girlfriends have no power. They never have. And honestly, no matter how progressive you think we are, no matter how forward moving you think the world is moving, we still are built on old-fashioned values and old-fashioned ideals. There's still enough of us left that the world will not proceed or get away with this thinking. So do not get in a relationship thinking that as a girlfriend that you hold some semblance of power when all of the ex-girlfriends also thought so, and they thought the same. We really don't have enough of this conversation when it comes to that power dynamic. The power dynamic in the relationship is so important, y'all. When you're in a relationship and one person holds all of the cards, one person literally holds your future in his hands. One person is the decision maker to if you can go left or right. And I'm not talking about leadership in this manner. I'm literally talking about as a girlfriend, that is what it looks like. You being a girlfriend in a relationship, it means that you've given him permission for him to ask more of you, for you to pursue him, for you to jump through hoops to make sure you get that ring. And see, he knows this. And since a lot of younger women don't know the real way that a relationship is supposed to progress, a lot of us are doing it the incorrect way, and we're getting taken advantage of, and we're ending up in these long-term relationships as someone's girlfriend with no power in the relationship. When I explained to this young lady that I was having a conversation with yesterday about the process and what it's supposed to look like and what it's always looked like. See, being a girlfriend or boyfriend is pretty new. Even the scientific community is really starting the research on how it's going to end. But they're taking a look at it because of the movement of some of the women that are willing to be girlfriends, and they're still referring to it as adolescent, immature, not even a mature relationship. And that should be a signal to a lot of us who are out here dating, and our purpose is to get married. Really, this live stream is for women who have purpose in their dating. If you're purposely wanting to get married, you have purpose in how you're moving, then this live stream is for you. If you are out here and just having fun, you don't mind being a girlfriend, you don't mind losing a little bit of time, you don't mind you not being the risk, you don't mind being the learning curve, you don't mind building a man so he can be better with the wife. You don't mind him learning off of your back, creating off of your back, because since women really don't have an understanding of feminine energy, this is the very reason why you get with the man and y'all are boyfriend and girlfriend, and he proceeds to do better in life. He gets that next promotion. He earns more money. He is at his best he's ever going to be while you're with him. And then y'all separate and you break apart and he starts going down a little bit. Y'all don't understand that is feminine energy. That is feminine. Feminine energy is literally the creation. It's literally the fuel that men need. And men understand this. That's the reason why no matter how much they hate or despise or don't like women, they're always going to be surrounded by them. Why? Because feminine energy is literally creation. Feminine energy is literally the next step for him. Feminine energy is literally that promotion for him. Feminine energy is literally the muse for him to actually be able to succeed and do the things that he needs to do as a man. And he knows this. So it's a great trick. It's a great men are great deceivers. They're wonderful deceivers because women don't understand this. Women don't understand this because the elders in your family, the women in your family, they were supposed to explain this to you. They're supposed to enlighten you. They're supposed to let you know the power that you hold as a woman, that you are just that important. And you shouldn't just be willing to give that energy willy-nilly to just any man that comes in your presence. Your energy is magnificent, it is contagious. It literally multiplies. And since it multiplies the things that it encounters and it comes across, you shouldn't be just giving it to any man. So you shouldn't just be willy-nilly allowing a man to claim you and make you a girlfriend and make you a learning curve when he can literally make you a wife and risk it all. I want a man to risk it all. I want a man who's willing to risk his emotional well-being, his financial well-being, his being for me. I want that man. And that is one of the reasons I married my husband. He was willing to risk it all. So let's see what everybody has to say. All right. Hello. Pella Sawaz, thank you for being in the building, ladies. I see you. Also, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, and share the video. It's time to grow. We are growing, but we need to get this message out. Where did you find your information? I will link the information down below after the video. Now, remember that it's a growing science. It's growing science. People are just starting to look at these type of relationships because people are in long-term relationships, and scientists are paying attention to that because they're paying attention to the low birth rates. They're paying attention to the high divorce rates. They are trying to figure out how to correct it. We really don't need the scientific community to correct this. If you were to actually take the content that I have on my page, you can correct this yourself. You don't need science to tell you that being a girlfriend, you may not win in the end. There's been plenty of women that was a girlfriend long term and they came out of a relationship without anything to show for it. As a wife, and him willing to be able to risk it all for you, you do come out with resources. You come out with benefit. It depends on who you marry now. Of course, if you marry well, you're going to come out with resources. You can come out with insurance policies. You're going to come out with benefits. You're going to come out with properties. You're going to come out with things that you can take and pass down to your kids, which is generational wealth. That is what a marriage is supposed to do for you. It is not supposed to be the dopamine hit, the emotions, the feelings. This is where women are going wrong. This is where women are going wrong. Would you rather be a man's learning curve, a girlfriend, or would you rather be a man's risk? I would rather be his wife and be his risk. I would rather be his tornado, his ending, his final, his deathbed. I would rather be his risk rather than be his learning curve where I can prepare him, where you're preparing him for another woman. You're making him great for another woman. You're encouraging, inspiring, and giving him your energy, and he is multiplying it for another woman. This is the reason why women do not win being a girlfriend. Women do not win taking themselves off of the market and putting all their eggs in one basket. Women do not win because honestly, when it comes down to men have time. They absolutely have time. And I know on social media, I know it's so popular. They talk about having babies so late. You do have a biological clock. You do have that. So if you allow yourself to get in a relationship where you really want to be a wife and you are a girlfriend and you're running up the clock and he is, and you don't want to have children outside of wedlock, you are messing up your own time. It doesn't benefit a woman to be in a relationship as a girlfriend. It doesn't. And also, if you take yourself off of the market and no one is in pursuit, no one is chasing you, no one is pursuing you, because once a woman becomes a girlfriend, she automatically says, I am in a committed relationship. I am someone else's woman. I am someone else's girlfriend. This means you're no longer out here dating rotationally so that you can, find the relationship that's going to benefit you and have a man make you a wife so he can risk it all. Because see, when you are a girlfriend, there is no risk. There's no risk attached to him being in a relationship with you in that manner. There's no risk. Maybe he might get his heart broken. Maybe his emotional well-being might be affected. But overall, there is no risk. This is the reason why it's the easiest relationship to get in, to learn about women, to learn how to sexually please women, how to talk to women, how to communicate, intimacy. The best way to get feminine energy is to actually be and get in this type of relationship, and it doesn't have to be serious. Do you all realize there's some men that literally will constantly be someone's boyfriend because they know and they respect marriage so much they do not want to get in that into that type of relationship, because they know if they get into a marriage, they're going to risk it all. They're going to risk their financial well-being. They're going to risk their emotional well-being. They're going to risk everything that they built. So it's easier to say, oh, well, let me go out here and get me a girlfriend, because they're not losing anything from that. They're not losing anything. Women are losing time. Women are losing their energy. They're losing their, because like I said, it's energetically soul crushing to continually be in a long-term relationship and never to get proposed to always be a bridesmaid and never a bride. That is energetically soul crushing. That messes with our energy and messes with our self-worth. When you realize that this man is never going to take a risk with you. And see, that's what marriage is. Of course, marriage is about the resources. It is about the values, the morals, coming together in a covenant with God, saying, oh, I'm committed to this one particular person. But it also is a risk. Think about being that woman that he proposes to and wants to give you his last name, and he's willing to risk it all for you. He's willing to risk losing it all for you. That is different. That gives you a different type of power dynamic within the relationship. Girlfriends have no power in the relationship. Immediately, once you agree to be a man's girlfriend, you lose power within the relationship. You lose power in the relationship because immediately you're saying, I'm yours. Even though you're not mine, I'm yours. And I'm going to just be committed on your whatever you want to do in life, as far as if you're going to say, I want to get married, or if you want to live separately, or if you want to live together, I'm going to be committed to those things. Girlfriends have no power in a relationship. When you admit, or be okay with being a girlfriend. You lose your power in that relationship. The power dynamic shifts, and he's able to put you through a series of testing. He spends his entire time as your boyfriend testing you for wife material. And then women forget to test him. You're so busy jumping through hoops, trying to get that ring. You're so busy doing everything right and making sure that everything appeals to him, that you're trying to get that ring, that you forget to test him. You forget to test, vet, and question him, because the power dynamic has shifted and he has all the power and holds all the cards, because all of your eggs is in one basket. Being a girlfriend holds no power. Being a girlfriend holds no power. And I know at one point, like I said before, at one point I was just like you. I didn't pay any attention to the dynamic. I was raised by the silent generation. The silent generation did not date in the manner that we currently date in now. Right now, ladies, y'all have a lot of talking stages. Y'all don't really have courting stages anymore. It's like talking stage, and talking stage could really last almost up to 6-7 months, because a young lady shared with me, and I realized that the stages that y'all had, the stages are even proven. It's still proven. If you even go in that dynamic and date in the manner that they're telling you to date right now, you're going to be proving yourself to him to be a good wife, to be wife material. And he's going to be able to benefit from both worlds. He's going to be able to have you as his girlfriend, but a lot of you all be doing wifey duties even as a girlfriend. So he's going to be able to enjoy the best of both worlds. He's going to be able to have the ability to draw on your energy, to multiply, to create, so that he can be able to make his life better. He's going to have that commitment and have access to sex and access to you. He's going to be able to operate and pull on the fact that you're actually increasing his livelihood, which means he's going to live a little bit longer, but he's not going to really be in a marriage. He's going to be in a just a relationship with those so-called titles. And he's going to be able to use that and utilize that to actually be better. And what women get for being a girlfriend? Emotional needs met. That is all. You get your emotional needs met. You get that dopamine hit. That is all you get from the relationship, because you can't reap the benefits of him being a husband. You can't reap the benefits of having access in the manner you should be. You can't reap the benefits of getting all the benefits and all the insurance and anything that comes along with him. You get just the dopamine hit. You get just your emotional needs hit. And that's the reason why girlfriends hold no power. All right, so let's see what everybody else is saying. All right, I will attach the research. Like I said, it's just the beginning. They're just starting, but I'm going to keep my eye on it, because I love research. I love facts. I love real information. I don't like to sit here and just spew information just from my opinion or my anecdotal experience. How to communicate to a man that you are looking for marriage and not to be anybody's girlfriend. You tell him. This is in one area I always suggest that you be direct on that. You let him know, I am not interested in being anyone's girlfriend. I'm only dating to be a wife. You can be that direct. Yes, girlfriends are learning curves and wives are the risk. They are the risk. If I was to with the wave of my pen, I'm a risk. With the wave of my pen, I am doomed. With the wave of my pen, I'm the storm. With the wave of my pen, I am the risk. Because with the wave of my pen, I can file for divorce and I can go for half of his benefits, half of his insurance, half of anything he currently owns, half of everything he's built. I am the risk. If I was a girlfriend, with the wave of my pen, only thing I can do is sign my own name on my own loans and on my own housing, on my own insurance and my own benefits. That is the only thing I can sign my name on and not. I would never be a risk. As a girlfriend, I would hold no power. It's like every time when this is said, it's like the girlfriend does not get it. Currently, I'm listening to this book on Audible. It's about 15 hours long. It's called Marriage, a History, very informative and interesting. I'm glad you mentioned that, because one of the things I do want to mention, that girlfriend and boyfriend relationships are so new, they are not evolutionary correct. Evolutionary psychology does not even really mention anything about girlfriend or boyfriends, because if you were to actually talk with someone who's born in the silent generation, which is what my grandmother was born in. She's no longer with me, of course, but this is where I started looking at things differently, because in her generation, they dated, they courted, and then they married. Okay, that was the process. It was very simple. It was very to the point. Literally, sometimes it went like this: I want your daughter in hands in marriage, and he never even took her out on one date. He never even spoke to her. He never even had a conversation with her. So he really never even had an opportunity to vet her. But this is how men moved back in the day. Hey, I want your daughter's hand in marriage. She's going to be very well taken care of. I have all of my things to show you that she's going to be well taken care of. What do you say? And then the parents will check him out, make sure he's correct, he's legit, he has all the things that he can to provide for the daughter. And then there was a marriage. If it was good, the father said it was good, and they moved forward, they planned a wedding, they got married. Boom, it was easy and done. Now today, y'all got so many stages, I can't even keep up. I only remember one, and that's the talking stage. And I realized the talking stage lasted so long that a woman would get emotionally invested into that man, and she won't be really spending time rotationally dating and talking to other men and making sure that all of her eggs aren't in one basket. See, as a girlfriend, all of your eggs are in one basket. You're putting all of your hopes and dreams of being a wife on this one particular man. But if you were to question that one particular man, how many girlfriends does he have? At one time, those girlfriends had the same hopes and dreams. Those girlfriends had the same idea. Let me play girlfriend until I get married, until he proposes, until I can say I do. All of the girlfriends that came before you, they had the same ideals, moved in the same way, and they still ended up being an ex-girlfriend. And the wife, if he gets married, or if he has an ex-wife, the ex-wife supersedes all of the girlfriends, period, because he was willing to risk it all for her. Hello, Braille and all. I just discovered your channel this week and love the content. Black women need to know they are worthy of provider and protector. Absolutely. As a Black woman myself, I've been married for 21 years. I've always been provided, protected, and taken care of, coddled, covered, and spoiled. And Black women deserve that also. Yes, being a girlfriend is a scam. It absolutely is. A man is able to take advantage of both worlds. He gets the wife without the commitment. He gets the wife without the risk. He gets all the perks of having a wife without having to risk anything. A woman risks so much. A woman can literally risk her womb. She can really risk her livelihood, her energy, even her self-worth being in this relationship. A woman risks so much being a girlfriend. This is the reason why I need you ladies to start thinking of girlfriends being as learning curves. That's what they are. They're learning. They're learning. They're there for men to learn. They're there for men to learn about women. So think a girlfriend near you if you're a wife. Being a girlfriend was one of the worst years of my life. It chipped away at my self-worth every year that went by that I didn't get the ring. But I was taking on more and more responsibility. See, and this is what I want to prevent. This is why I pass on the knowledge that my grandmother gave me. The knowledge that seems out of date, it seems old-fashioned, but ladies, it works. Most of the women that actually listen to the advice that I give on these live streams, they have changed their lives 360 ways. They have changed their lives and they're reaping the benefits of actually being with a man who provides and takes care of them. My mother got all of my father's assets, although she was 16 years an ex-wife. Yes, Miss B, that's a true story. Absolutely. I see it all the time in real life where all of the girlfriends or the current girlfriend, they think when he dies, even if he has paperwork that says that she is entitled to certain things, baby, or ex-wife can come out the crevice, she can come out the hole, and she can sue, and she can actually win, because this America was built on the foundations of having legal marriages between husband and wife, and we have a Christian foundation in America. A lot of us don't realize that. Y'all think that those ideals are old-fashioned, but go ahead and take certain things to court, and you realize real quick, like that the judge is sitting in front of you, usually they're older people and they have older ideas and older values, and they're actually operating for what America was built on. It's built on families, it's built on husband and wife. It is not built for boyfriend and girlfriend. That is the reason why a girlfriend cannot put her boyfriend on her insurance for work, but a husband can put his wife on his insurance. Is it safe to marry a divorced man if his ex hasn't married? I wouldn't say so. I would honestly, what I would say do is look at the laws of your state, because honestly, ex-wives can still come back and collect even from the current wife with the benefits, because if he's been married and he was married prior for at least 10 years, the ex-wife can get the benefits and the current wife wouldn't be entitled to them. See, the thing is, a lot of young women are operating with the new ideals that are out here and not looking at what the laws are. See, the laws haven't caught up to the new ideals. The laws are still based on old-fashioned values. They're still based on traditional values. They're still based on husband and wife, not girlfriend and boyfriend. So even if the ex-wife come out the crevice, out that little hidey hole wherever she coming from, and you the current wife, I would still make sure all of my T's are crossed and I's dotted. I would make sure everything is legal in my state, because do not count on just being the current wife. I literally have seen it in my own real life. I've seen ex-wife come back and kind of snatch up everything from the new wife. And that happens daily, but no one really talks about it. No one really has a conversation about it. So I would suggest marrying a widow, marry a widow, marry maybe a guy that if he has children, they're married, because that helps too. Because even if the children are unmarried and they're really young, they can come and kind of take everything from the new wife. Y'all have to realize these second wives and third wives, they don't have access just like the first wife does. And for darn sure, none of the girlfriends have access, period. Girlfriends the things that he leaves you can be overturned very quickly. If there's a wife out there or ex-wife out there that feels slighted because she didn't get something out the wheel, or she didn't get something she thinks she deserves, she can go after him in court and she may win. She may win. Seen it all the time. I've seen it at least twice. I've seen it twice where this was an interesting thing I saw. I've seen a young woman. She had a couple of babies, and then what happened? She went. He had signed a birth certificate, right? A lot of you think, oh, he signed a birth certificate that entitles me to any to the benefits from Social Security. Let me explain to you what happened. This is something interesting. It wasn't a wife that came back and challenged her getting benefit of Social Security. It was literally the mother. The mother didn't like the girlfriend, and she didn't like her at all. So she decided to challenge the benefits. She pretty much wrote the Social Security office and told the office that may have not been his child, and that he was very skeptical, even though he signed the birth certificate. Guess what happened? She has to take this to court. Girlfriends are learning curves. Wives are risk. If she'd have been his wife and had his son in that marriage, it wouldn't have mattered what the mother had to say. She could have sit here and claimed forever and ever that the child wasn't his, and the wife would have still inherited everything. Now she in these courts fighting for her life, and hopefully she has some money, because Mom Dukes, she got some money, and she doesn't like the girlfriend, so she is fighting for all of the assets and everything else. See, this is the reason why I tell you, ladies, be careful. Be careful with these new ideas of being someone's girlfriend and investing time as someone's girlfriend and putting all your eggs in one basket. And then something happens to him and you're not entitled to any of the benefits. Literally, the ex-wife, if there's an ex-wife, she comes before you as a girlfriend. And if there's a current wife, she's going to become before the girlfriend, but she may not come before the ex-wife. It depends on the laws of the state. So I suggest always look up your laws of your state to find out how they handle these things. But realize, no matter what the law says, one important foundation that you need to realize that America is built on families. It was built on Christianity. It was built for husband and wife and legalities. and covenants with God. And since those things are the foundation of America and how it was built, those foundation and those ideals are still there, and they still operate in the court. And older judges are still on the judgeship, and they still have power to enforce these things, either just because they feel like that's the right thing to do. So girlfriends have no power in relationships. Women lose overall trying to be a man's girlfriend. He gets best of both worlds without the risk. You're risking it all being a girlfriend. You're literally putting all of your eggs in one basket. You're literally giving your energy to a man so he can multiply his life. And you're not even entitled to any of it. And it is soul crushing to go every year and not receive a ring. Y'all don't understand how many videos I've came across where a young woman is upset because she did not get the ring. One more year without the ring. One more year as being his girlfriend / wifey, because she's taking on a lot of roles and responsibility. And honestly, when those roles and responsibilities start coming up and you start taking on more and more and more, let me explain what happened. The power dynamic in a relationship has shifted. He has all of the power. He knows he holds all of the cards. He knows that your one hope to be a wife is on him. And so he can test, he can vet, he can question, he can ask more of you. But if he's in pursuit of you, you hold all the cards. If he's in pursuit of you, you hold all of the cards and you have the decision to move forward or stop. The power dynamic in a relationship is very important. Pay attention to that in your relationship. You will realize who holds that power in the relationship. I do not like the wifey term. I don't either. Sugar daddies versus boyfriends. What's the difference? What do you think, Brill? All right. Sugar daddies is usually he is the person who is making sure he funds your lifestyle. It's not the same as a boyfriend, because as a sugar daddy, you would never take on the role of girlfriend. You wouldn't take on that role of trying to be his wifey or trying to take care of him in that manner. His one job is to fund your lifestyle, to make sure that you have the things that you need. So it's a very big difference in those things, unless you're trying to move from being a sugar baby or being his sugar baby to being his wife. But if he's just your sugar daddy, he's just pouring into you. You have all of the power in the relationship. The entire dynamic is all on you. You can make all of the important decisions in that type of relationship. So there's a big difference. Because even while he's your sugar daddy, he's funding your lifestyle, you still have the opportunity to actually continue purposefully looking for your husband. You have the ability to be able to still date and, not put all your eggs in one basket and rotational date and get to know new men. So it's a different situation. So that's what the difference is. And that's what I think. I'm just trying to date providers and have my husband find me and have my own business. Absolutely. Absolutely. The thing is, I don't want to be a man's learning curve. I didn't want to be a man's learning curve. I didn't want him to practice on me or use my energy to multiply. I didn't want to have the relationship end and he multiply his resources and I have no way or any entitlement to those resources. I would rather be his risk. I would rather be his storm. I would rather be his doom. I would rather be with one signature of the paper. I can uplift his empire or bring it all down. I would rather be his risk. Because if he's willing to risk it all to make me his wife, he's all in with me, versus him having one step in and one step out. Because that is literally what a girlfriend and boyfriend relationship is. It is not moving forward into adulthood and a mature relationship. It is staying still and being stagnant. Girlfriends hold no power in relationships. Wives are the risk. Girlfriends are the learning curve. They don't want this gospel. They don't want it. They don't want it. And like I said, the scientific community is slowly catching up with these different terms and different relationships. And I like to keep my eye on research. I like real research with real numbers, with real doctors, real information, And it's very interesting that now they're taking a look at girlfriend and boyfriend relationships. But even when they discuss it, it's like adolescence. They don't even talk about it in a way in the journal that I read about it. They don't even talk about it in a way like it's a mature relationship. They talk about, it's just for children. It's adolescents. And they don't talk about it as though when you go and do a little bit more digging and you start looking at how the internet and social media is viewing boyfriend and girlfriend relationships, you realize that women are just getting dopamine hits. They're just getting their feels and their emotions hit. That's all they're getting. They're not getting anything or, being entitled to anything from this relationship. Women lose being a girlfriend, not just by putting their eggs in one basket. They lose energetically because your self-worth will take a hit if every year you come up to this year and you think this is the year he's going to propose and he doesn't. And the power dynamic changes because now that you're in this position and you're trying to get that ring, you're doing more to prove to him that you're a wife and not a girlfriend. You're crossing lines and not keeping your boundaries effective. So this is the reason why women should never be a girlfriend. You don't earn or get anything from it. You don't get anything but your emotions. That emotional hit that women desire, you can get that from another woman. Yeah, you can get that from having a girlfriend, for having someone to uplift you, for being around like-minded women, to being around women who actually care something about you. You can get that dopamine hit from women instead of getting it from a man in a relationship like girlfriend and boyfriend. Stop doing that to yourself. Not only, and I know like this is probably a little triggering, but when it comes down to it, we do have a biological clock. And you are losing time being in a relationship, especially if you desire to be a wife. You're losing time. Do not listen to social media where they talk about you can do it when you're older here, older that. If you want to have your own child from your own body, I would actually think about it and look at the science behind it. Do not base your decision based off of what someone in your family member was able to do. You know what? My grandmother was able to have a child at 42. I didn't do that. I've had all of my children. I'm not going to have any more. I am done. But if I base off my ability to have children off of her womb and not my own, that is the mistake that women make. Just because your grandma, your auntie, your cousin had them in their 40s, baby, don't count on that because you may go there and try to do it and you may not be able to. Get your fertility checked, especially if you're dating and you want to have a baby from your own body. Check your fertility. Don't depend or think that you're going to be able to have one because someone in your family had it in their 40s. And yes, adoption is available for women who don't want to have children out of their own body, and that's fine. But majority of the women want to have children from their own body. They want to have their own children. So check your fertility. Make sure that you're able and healthy to have children. Do not count your fertility based off a family member. And don't count it based off of, it depends on what type of man you're married to. Of course, everyone is listening to the live stream. I want you to marry well. But take in mind, IVF is very expensive. A lot of women are not taking the context how much IVF costs. It's very expensive. So you better make sure that if you're going to go this route and you're going to have your baby very late in life, make sure your man has the money to fund IVF because it is very expensive. Make sure he has the money to fund all of the opportunities and ways that you can have a baby, especially if you have your mindset is set on having your own child. Do not listen to social media. Social media will have you thinking that there is no biological clock, and there is one. It is science. It is biology. Okay? But girlfriends hold no power in a relationship. They are literally the learning curve and not the risk. The wife is the risk. With one signature, a wife can either tear down a man's empire or build it up. A girlfriend can sign her name. She can sign her name. And she can sign her name for her own paperwork, for her own insurance, for her own job, for her own loan contracts, for her own car, for her own house. But her signature holds no power other than to herself. A wife is a risk. Baby, I'd rather be the storm in his life than the learning curve, period. All right, let's see here. Okay, you're talking to somebody else. Very true. Thank you. You're welcome. Okay, let me see here. What is this? I didn't mean to do that. I'll fix it later. How to keep the power when he's providing, still setting up boundaries, not always making myself available. The way you keep the power dynamic on your side within a relationship. And let me make myself very clear. When I say power dynamic in this way, he has power, but you have power. And it's not essentially balanced, but you both have power in the relationship. In order to maintain your power within the relationship, you have to always have walking power. This means you have to always do your due diligence to make sure that you have walking power in a way that you can always leave. Either you can walk away and still be or live the same lifestyle that you have become accustomed to. That is power. That is knowing that you can still do the things you're currently doing now, that he's providing for you now, and you can do it for yourself, whether you're in the relationship with him or not. Walking power, making sure that your looks are up to par, that you can also get you another one. Walking power, making sure that your mental and mindset has not been corrupted being in a relationship, because that is super important. When I get around wives, I realize that the wives have been in a relationship so long that they love him more and love themselves less. I tell you all, and it's always been my mantra and will always be my mantra as long as I am married and long as I'm in, if I ever be in another type of relationship, I will always love me more, because I know there's power in loving me more. There's power in loving me more than I love him. And that is why girlfriends hold no power in a relationship. They are literally the learning curve. They're literally the directions to a man learning how to deal with a woman, where the wife is the risk. She is the storm. She is the nightmare, or she can be the joy. A wife is a risk. Please talk about how to make him earn you. He must earn a wife. Absolutely, he must earn a wife. I have the video, Make Him Earn You. That is really some good information on how to make a man earn you. Okay. For those of us who are in our 30s and are abstinent until marriage, what advice is best to move forward? I didn't grow up with my parents teaching me how a man should treat me. Okay, first of all, before you even move forward, make sure you have your mindset right. Because one of the most important things that there's not really a lot of conversation about, most relationship gurus, mentors, and all of these other people that talk about the same thing that I talk about, they talk about the looks. They talk about making sure your looks are up to par, but you need to make sure your mentality is up to par. You need to make sure your mindset in the right space in order to be in a relationship. Make sure you have a great understanding of who you are, because when you get in a relationship, and you don't know who you are, you tend to be a copy of the man you're with. And this is the reason why it's important. Get your mind right. Have an understanding of who you are. Understand what's your likes, what's your dislike, your strengths. What are your goals? What is your purpose? Get that understanding first before you even attempt to go in a relationship. Get that self-confidence in alignment before you get in any type of relationship. I've seen when women get into a relationship and they don't have any self-confidence, this is also another reason why they tend to accept less in the relationship and don't even ask for what they're worth. I have plenty of videos on this page and on Instagram that really give some great information about starting that process of getting your mindset and mentality right. Also, I have plenty of videos that talks about relationships and how to interact and how a man is supposed to earn you. So I have start there. I would start with me first before I even concern myself with a relationship. Start with you first. And being abstinent until marriage is actually a good thing. It's a good thing. Women don't understand that men want to sleep with you. And since they want to sleep with you, your best bargaining tool is not giving them access to your sex. So don't sleep with them. And you're starting off on the good foot. But make sure your mentality is in the correct place. Examples of how would I show that to him, that I'm a risk by making sure that you know, keeping your standards up to par. Don't let him violate your boundaries. Make sure that you always let him know, especially when it comes to the girlfriend role, that you will not be playing that. Continue to date other people. See, the thing is, a man doesn't want a woman that nobody wants. If nobody wants her, he doesn't want her. Continue to date other people. A lot of us don't realize, just by us being ourselves and having an understanding of who we are and making sure we understand our own value and dating other men, that is really all you need to do. You don't have to jump through hoops. Y'all, men and women did not jump through hoops in order to get married back in the day. They did not. They did not. A woman did not go on display by showing how she can cook and how she kept a house and how she kept his schedule. She didn't do all of those things. The thing is, do you and be self-confident in the moves that you make, and let him see how you take care of yourself. Let him see how you run your own household. Let him see how you do the things in your life, and let him get an understanding and see if he wants to be a part of that. You don't need to jump through hoops. That is a mistake that women make. And this is the reason why the power dynamic has always been on men's side, because women don't understand the game. How can a man know if you're a girlfriend or wife material? How do they make that decision? By watching you, watching how you carry yourself, how you communicate, how do you resolve conflict. They watch you. How do you live your life? This is how they make the decision. This is how men were able to make that decision back in the day. And they're still actually making this decision in the same way. Do you really think that men may test you to see if you're going to fit his lifestyle, but men make emotional decisions when they decide to risk it all. See, this is what women don't understand. This is the reason why women are stuck in the role of being a girlfriend, because he doesn't feel the way that you feel about him. He is not willing to risk it all emotionally, because there's nothing emotionally to risk. This is the reason why he feels about you. And then also another thing is, a woman makes it a requirement. You let him know that this is what you desire. You let him know that you're not going to be a girlfriend. You're dating with a purpose to be a wife. I understand what I want and who I am. However, I'm surrounded by Black women who settle. I get called unrealistic for sharing that I want to be a homemaker, even though I have 3 college degrees. Get around new women. It's time to surround yourself with like-minded women. It's time to get in spaces with like-minded women. In this live stream currently, there are like-minded women. Majority of women in this live stream, they want to be homemakers, stay-at-home wives. They want to build their wealth off the back of their husband. Get around like-minded women, even if it's on social media currently. Sometimes social media is where you have to start before you can branch out and meet women in real life who have the same ideals. Because I guarantee you are not the only woman who wants to be a stay-at-home wife. I literally have women DMing me and contacting me and wanting information on how do I obtain this for myself. And don't settle. Don't settle. Let me explain to you. It is better to be alone, to take care of yourself and be alone, than it is to be a wife in a miserable marriage and not be provided for and not get the resources and not be able to get generational wealth. It is better to be alone and do it yourself than to be with someone who will not give you those things. And I'm going to be doing some more wife content too. Y'all bear with me. I'll try to answer these questions, but it's hard to actually get into the nitty-gritty of all of it sometimes and not be long-winded. Ooh, okay. All right, but I don't have anything else to I don't have anything else to discuss, and I don't really see any other questions. But I want you to remember, a girlfriend is a learning curve. A wife is a risk. I would prefer, and I want the women that are listening to this content, pedestals who are listening to this content, I want a man to risk it all for you. I want you to be the storm in his life. I want you to be doom in his life. I want you to be the nightmare in his life. I want him to really think twice of the moves he will make in his life, because you literally, with the pen, you can weld, help him build his empire, or you can destroy his empire. But that comes with being a wife. You don't get that type of power in a relationship if you are a girlfriend. Girlfriends have no power in a relationship. Other girlfriends before you that came before you, they all thought the same thing that you currently do as a girlfriend. They thought they would be the one. They thought he would propose to them. They thought that was the end of their story. And now they're starting all over again. So remember, a girlfriend holds no power. She's a learning curve. She's literally the woman that teaches him how to be a man to the wife. The wife is a risk. She is the storm. She is the destroyer. She can be his doom. She can be his nightmare. She can be his joy. She can be his angel. She can be his peace, and she can be his rest. But she holds power that a girlfriend would never have. And I will see you all on the next one. Y'all have a great weekend, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.